Bratton wrote promo.org for more information. Go do that, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Annoying Jannelle.
Hey! That was a good discussion about voting, and I'm glad that you made it an overtime topic.
Yeah, well,
Did you feel comfortable about it? Because it's like not a right answer.
We haven't talked about politics around here in a long time.
I know. Callie says, good morning, friends. That was really creepy. Yes, Callie.
Yeah, she is creepy, isn't she? It's hard to believe that I have to put up with this every day.
And Sheila says, Creeper Brian.
She is a creeper.
No,
Creeper, comma, Brian? Yeah, creeper.
Whatever.
So creepy.
Viola, my friend. She says, good morning, all. Mike says, good morning, everyone. Is the sound not coming through to everyone else? I can't hear. He said he can't hear. David, hashtag Team Brian. We know it, David. He says, what am I doing? Did something happen? No. Yes, we are responsible to vote as much as the government is responsible to us citizens, according to the book of Romans.
Now, as we get into this topic, again, we had a listener write to us.
What's up, Marcy? What's up, YouTube? Click subscribe, YouTube people, and Facebook people. Share, share, share.
Somebody said, I want to hear this discussed. Do Christians have an obligation to vote? She said, we have, within a mile of us, 2 dedicated Christian families who do know one another, and they do not believe in voting. They claim they live in another kingdom and are not to be involved in this world. Each family travels about 30 miles and are active in their church. One family has no contact with neighbors. They blah, blah, blah. They do not know much about politics or world affairs, but want to know how we are voting. Which I find it really interesting. Oh, I don't believe in voting. Who are you voting for?
Yeah.
Each tells me they're not going to get involved in worldly affairs. So she wants to know whether Christians have an obligation to vote. We talked about that live on the air. We'd love to talk about it here. Please do not put partisan comments here. We're not interested in your endorsement of your favorite candidate. If you do that, Kelly will delete it, and we will all clap when she deletes it because we don't want that business here. It has no place here. If you start making fun of any politicians here, that's a violation of Scripture in Romans 13, 1 Peter, Ecclesiastes. Please don't do that. If you do that, we will delete your comment. I think we can do this. We did it on the air. It's great. A lot of great comments. So, what do you think?
So Lisa says, good morning. God bless my favorite Jannelle. Woo! You're not even going to check? She says my favorite morning show.
Yeah.
Hey, Lisa. David says, oh, wait, I already read David. And David also says, y'all be blessed. Are you leaving, David? Don't leave. Deborah says, friendly reminder. Not only should we keep our fingers and things out of our ears, those things should not go in our noses.
Yeah, okay. This is what happens today. Before we get to some of more of your comments. We're about to start the show, so things are getting real in the studio. We're sitting in our spots. She's over there. I'm over there. And I'm like, Jannelle, what do you want to talk about first? We have these. We had already talked about all that. We're about to go. And she's talking to me, and she's got a pen. Let's just say this is it, because I'm not going to touch this pen. You don't know why in a minute. I don't want that pen.
I didn't use that pen.
This is my pen, because I'm not
Thank you. I have my pen. For obvious
reasons in a moment, I'm not touching the pen that she was using. She's got this pen like this, okay? And I'm talking to her, and I'm nervous. And she starts going like this. I'm nervous.
What? Are you serious?
And she starts moving it around, and I was legit. I got her back. You saw when she spilled coffee all over the place over here? Remember, I jumped over there, and I was like, I'll rescue you. I was like, whoa, Jannelle, the cap is off of that pen. You just stuck it in your ear. You're going to draw all over your ear. She was like, what?
Thank you. I do this all the time. I like tickling my ear and itching my ear. It's super cool. You guys should try it. It's not just a pen. You could use other things. Carol says, hi, Brian and Jannelle. Great program. She was probably talking to me. Sarah says, Brian, your German accent makes me laugh so much more than the British. So can you give her some more?
Yeah, I'm from Germany, yes. It's hard to do this sometimes. I don't know how to be German all the time. Yeah.
And what's up, Yvonne, on Facebook? Facebook people, you can comment. I see you. Subscribe. Very important.
And now,
Yvonne says I'm. Oh, go
well, I was
ahead.
going to say, Dr. Rydelnik said, what is it, November? What are you talking about this for? We're talking about this because of yesterday, former Vice President Biden announced his running mate would be Kamala Harris. And so now that we have both primary parties, both main parties, with their full tickets for the presidential election, I think a lot of people can go, now I can finally examine this from my faith perspective and decide what to do. I don't want you to tell us what you're going to do on that front. But since that's the case, this fits perfectly with the question of, are Christians obligated to vote? Let's just say someone looks at both and goes, I don't like either. Or they look at both and go, I love both. Or whatever they say, okay? Are they obligated to vote? That's why we're asking that.
So Yvonne says, I'm glad you're talking about this. She's on YouTube. Glad you're talking about this because I'm really torn concerning this election and didn't want to feel guilty if I didn't participate. And she says she likes your haircut.
Why do you roll your eyes at that?
Because, oh God.
So somebody who doesn't even work with me and sees me just periodically.
People know how needy you are. I got kids that I gotta like validate and affirm because they're super needy. So I know all about that.
So women don't expect people to notice when they do something new with their style?
I'm good.
Wow, that's deflection. Thank you, Yvonne, for caring about me enough to notice.
Yvonne and Shaker, you're my girl. Carol says, yes, Christians need to vote. It is such a wonderful privilege. We should never take it for granted. So many people in the world do not have this right. And you're right, Carol, and so many people have fought for just to have the right to vote and have a voice. So it is easy to take for granted today, but yeah, so important. Valerie, what's up, Valerie? Well, let's go to your Facebook page. Hold on, because I haven't seen your name. Oh, you are so elegant. And she goes to Ashford, or she went to Ashford University. I'm talking to you like you asked me this. And she went to East Technical.
She posted a funny video too. I've seen that video.
Which one? Okay,
of the Asian American woman runner in county. That's very funny. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to go back to
the
your
guy's
page.
Like, where are you from? She's like, St. Louis. He's like, no, where are you from?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that is funny.
It's very funny.
Valerie says, what if we have anxiety over both candidates and seriously can't make up your mind without feeling you've made a horrible decision with either one? Honestly, have no desire to vote and cringe at the thought of it.
Well,
so what have you done in that situation?
Dr. Rydelnik told us today that he says there's no biblical requirement to vote. So he can't subscribe to the word obligate.
Yeah.
He said though that, like, he essentially said, why wouldn't you? It's really a wise thing to do since you have an opportunity to do it. He went down a long list of reasons why he would, but he also said there may be a circumstance where you, for whatever reason, whether it's character or platform, can't support either candidate in main parties. He said that you might leave that part of the ballot blank.
But that's created issues even recently.
But I mean, he also acknowledged that there's never a perfect candidate.
Yeah.
So there's no perfect answer here, and people will reach different conclusions on this, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But he essentially said that while he usually says it's a good thing, he said he understands how sometimes some people say, on that particular race, I'm not going to vote.
Race as in presidential race. Marcy is laughing at Brian. Yes, I agree, Marcy. Team Jannelle says, in my opinion, we are no more obligated to vote than we are to do anything else. However, we truly should exercise our right to vote. I'm so over the idea that we can only vote for one or two of two parties. The fact that these two parties feel untouched with both parties doing what they want with no true accountability.
She's bringing up a good point that even wasn't raised on the air today, that you don't have just two choices. There truly are third parties.
Yeah, but that's what I've heard people saying is you vote for a third party is like not voting right now. And that's created some stuff in the past.
Some people say that, and there's been crazy situations where crazy things happen. For example, I happened to be in college when Jesse the Body Ventura was a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
running as a third-party candidate for governor in Minnesota, and won.
Miss Anita says, great job this morning, Jannelle and Brian. Nuance is just another word for walking uprightly. I'm starting my women's Wednesday morning Bible study with questions based on your earlier discussions.
Ooh.
Thank you for your faithfulness.
Thank you, Madam First Lady. Thank you.
Danella, my girl. Yes, it is. My girl. She is hashtag.
Hey.
No, sir. Callie says, we can pray for everyone involved in this huge time for our nation in hopes whoever wins does a good job. Deborah, gotta pick the best of the two, even if they're no good. Yes, it can be a challenge. To vote, to not vote is to vote.
But you know what, though? Here's one of the challenges I have for us. The book of Matthew talks about where Jesus is talking about hypocrisy, when people are so worried about someone else's sin, they don't even notice their own. So he's like, why are you worried about the splinter in your brother's eye when you got a log in your own eye? Like, what? You got a giant log in your eye? There's a lot of people who are super passionate about the fact that Christians should vote. And I get it. And I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying you're passionate. Have you ever left anything blank on a ballot? Honestly, in front of all of us. You voted for every judge, every ballot initiative. You've made a decision for every local candidate. How about this one? Have you voted in every possible election in your community? So you voted for the school board. You voted every November. There's not elections every 4 years. I'm talking every election. Have you? And if you haven't, in what way are you not a hypocrite? If you're pressing everyone else to make a decision this November, you have to vote, you have to vote. Are you consistent in that intellectual principle throughout your entire life? And if you're not, maybe you ought to re-examine one of your two positions. Either maybe you need to start voting more consistently, like you so claim to, or maybe you need to lighten up a little bit, one of the two. I don't know. Because we've learned more than any other time in history that local elections matter. 2020 taught us that. You have a kid in a local public school, you've learned that the school board probably has more impact on your life than the President of the United States. Yeah, so I think it's a real important point to remember that have you really consistently always voted if you're that passionate?
Sarah says, she started off by saying, oh no, she says, but it's exactly that dichotomy of the two parties that discourages people from voting and making their voice truly heard.
Yeah.
Melody likes the topic. She says, I feel really badly about this. I am African American and so many people died for us to have the right to vote. However, I have become so cynical regarding any candidate and the political process.
And so I think, if I'm going to summarize Dr. Rydelnik's teaching on this, it was just or his opinion, I should say, on this. It's that you have freedom to do what your conscience tells you to do. That you're not sinning if you don't vote, and you're not sinning if you cast a particular vote.
Do you think partly what makes it difficult is I feel like we vilify certain candidates. And I very rarely, and I've had to learn it, and I've had to, now that I know, kind of check people around me and share my viewpoint, that because they stand for or against certain things in their policy or they're in a certain political party, that they hate America, they want to destroy America, they're not Christians, they're evil. Do you think that thinking is prevalent, and is it complicating the voting process where people say, I would rather just not vote? If we understood these are people that are like, great, they want the best for America, I may disagree. So do you think that would soften it a little bit and not make it so prickly? And
yeah, it would. I think the major problem is that Christians so quickly attach themselves to a particular candidate or party. I think that's a dangerous thing to do. I like what Dr. Rydelnik said. He attaches himself to issues.
Oh, okay.
Because they're biblical.
Yeah, but then how do you not turn into a one-party voter?
Because if you follow Scripture, if you're following Jesus, there's some issues for which Jesus would lean, and if you're using American political ideology, he'd lean right, and somewhere he'd lean left. And so if you surrender yourself to issues that are biblical, you can maintain your Christian witness and still be politically engaged.
So what do you think about the caller that we had this morning who said there are 3 things that God cares about? Boom, boom, boom. How do you attach yourself to issues without doing that. Like, God cares about way more than 3 things that you feel are the top 3.
The only way to fix that in my mind is for you to say, the way I'm convicted personally is I vote on these 2 or 3
Okay.
issues. But what I can't do is say, because I'm convicted on these 3, even though God's got a long list of issues he cares about, you have to care about the same 3 in the same order that I do.
Yeah. Jack Epperson, good morning. He says, all authority and promotion comes from God. God does everything. We do something. Wow, what a privilege in terms of voting.
What's going on, Jack?
Sarah says, isn't freedom of conscience one of our freedoms and core beliefs as believers and America?
So I think she's saying, isn't the freedom to not have a voice inherently American? Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Carol says, yes, I have voted in every election since I was 18. The only time I couldn't vote in local elections was when I lived in Africa as a missionary. I was able to vote absentee for the national election.
Carol, that's great because you're consistent with your position. I was just trying to challenge those. I know there's people, for example, who try to really guilt people into being obligated to vote, and yet they don't do any research on local elections. They don't cast a vote for judges. They haven't paid attention to ballot initiatives. And I think that's an intellectually inconsistent action.
So, I have an announcement to make. This is my first election, y'all. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
Yay.
I'm going to be voting for the first time.
Explain why, if they don't know.
Because I got my citizenship in February of this year. Super cool. And so I've been a permanent resident since I was 5. So that means legally I could have lived in this country till the day I died and been fine, but I chose to become a citizen. And so for those who think Len's a citizen, he was born here, you don't automatically become a citizen because you married one. But I was going to ask you, oh my goodness, the fact that this is my first election and there's this confusion of mail-in vote and walking in. Like, somebody asked me, what am I doing? Is it that complicated? Like, what are we supposed to be doing right now?
Well,
that's an honest question. It's not political. I know
there's a national debate about how reliable it would be to have mail-in voting be an option, when technically you sort of already have that opportunity with absentee ballots. And one of our friends here on Overtime mentioned that she voted absentee. People who live overseas and can't go to a polling station, they can vote absentee. You can, if you're going to be, you're busy that day, got surgery scheduled, or it doesn't fit in your schedule, you don't want to wait in line, you can vote absentee in advance, and that's where you get your ballot in advance, and you vote, and you send it in by mail.
So is that something we have to be doing now? Somebody said, I think we're missing something.
I don't think absentee balloting has begun yet.
Oh, okay.
That begins a certain period of time before the election. But
okay.
But most people go in person and do it.
So do you think that will be an option with COVID? Or will it be one or the
absentee voting is
other?
always an option. I don't know what we're going to do with mail-in voting.
Okay. Hold on. Jannelle says she agrees. When we got that caller that said God cares about 3 issues, she was talking to her radio. Sarah says, I'm not sure how it's going to look like this year with COVID and very few travelers back and forth to the States. Thank you, those congratulating me. I'm very excited. Can't wait. I wish I could take my kids, but it's looking...
Buckle up, because I remember the first time being totally overwhelmed by how many decisions I had to make that I was unprepared to make.
Len would call me when he was voting. Be like, have you heard of so-and-so? Like, he would want me to do the homework when he's in line. I'm like, dude, I don't know. So, yes, I'm going to do my homework ahead of time. Sarah says, unless I'm mistaken, absentee ballots are not counted. What? Unless the vote is very close?
I don't think so. I think they're counted, but I think that this is me with pure conjecture here, but my understanding of it, Sarah, is they are counted, but they'll call elections before they've counted the absentee ballots sometimes, because they know what percentage of the vote it would account for. So let's just say Brian and Jannelle are running against each other, and Brian has 99% of the vote, and Jannelle has 1%, which is how it would go. And we don't have the absentee ballots counted. You don't need to count.
Yeah.
It's not going to influence the outcome of the election.
So I'll stop real here and make a quick announcement for all of you listening. I see everybody on YouTube. First of all, subscribe. It's gonna be better and more awesome. So you want to be a part of the YouTube family. The other thing is, don't miss the Renew webinar. September 12th at 1 p.m. I'm going to be hanging with you, number one, and with Crystal Evans Hurst. She's Tony Evans' daughter. We're going to be in God's Word, finding ways to redeem our painful past. There's things we carry that people have told us or things we've experienced, and finding ways that God can redeem it so we can move forward with purpose, ladies. It's going to be a great time. Only $10 from the comfort of your home and safety. And all you have to do is text the word renew to our number, 440-546-2255. I'll also put the link. You can register with that link. There are barely 100 virtual seats available. Like, it's almost gone. So I don't want, from the people here, emails like, I'm left out. How come there wasn't space? I'm telling you. So please, go and subscribe. I did a mom thing. I don't want to hear no complaining. I'm telling you what to do. Sue says she's in Wisconsin. I had a great source to find out about people running for offices where they stood on, where they stood on abortion and other issues that as a Christian I'm concerned about. Many candidates won't put on record here in Ohio where they stand on abortion, including judges, and have yet to find a good source to really find that information. Do you have a good source on all candidates, judges, and other offices? I've tried Christian sources, your radio station, can't think of the program, David something. Not Dave Safransky, can't be. But so far, it's only what's on public record and no deeper. I do my best to find out info and vote, and yes, Brian, I leave blanks. Yeah. Can you think of source that you've used?
There is no one good source for this, because you have to remember as well that a lot of the Christian voting guides you can get out there are ultimately in some sense partisan, and candidates know that. And so what you get is candidates who that organization likes will answer the questionnaire.
Yeah.
And candidates who know they're not supported by that organization won't answer it. So you end up with half the people on the piece of paper, you don't know anything about their positions because they didn't answer the questionnaire.
Oh, yeah.
So really you have to do your own homework now to find out where somebody's positions are on certain issues. So
I put the link on YouTube, y'all, moodyconferences.com, and I'm going to put the link here on Facebook. So use it, $10, and you get an ebook from Nancy Kane. Sarah says, Jannelle, I and at least one other friend will be attending Renew together from Ecuador. Qué bueno. Me encanta. Melody says some sources are biased.
yeah, I mean they all are really. And
Really?
I used to like looking at voter guides, but really I just got sick of it because again, the candidates the organization likes would answer the questionnaire. The candidates that are not like the organization wouldn't respond to the questionnaire. So
Yeah.
it was a worthless document. It was almost as if the organization said, "Here, vote for these people."
Yeah.
I think that's just not helpful.
Jordan, what's up? He is excited for his wife. He says, I'm so excited. Oh, my wife is so excited for the Renew webinar. We are hosting a small watch party. I'm so glad your wife is coming. Spread the word, y'all. Use the link that I just posted. Put it on your Facebook. Tell people you're coming. Like barely 100 seats left. So what I do, I'm going to tell you a secret. When something awesome is about to happen, I love to tell people, but I'm always like, I'm not going to post it until I get my ticket. And then I'll let people know. So make sure you get your ticket. We don't want you left out. Holly says League of Women Voters has pretty good info on candidates and issues on their website.
Oh, check that out.
What are your thoughts on, and this is me, not Moody Radio, on AP Roundtable? I've heard are they partisan, nonpartisan? What's your experience?
American Policy Roundtable is a local organization that I believe they
local.
also, they're local and national, but they're based in Northeast Ohio. We've had some of their experts on our show before. They, I believe, released a voter guide. But I think they also, I can't say for certain, well, I'm not going to comment on it. They released a voter guide, you'll have to look at it and see what you think.
Yeah. Margaret, I see you on YouTube, Margaret. Use the link to subscribe. I see everyone on YouTube. Comment, we see you. And Danella says, that's a great idea, a Renew watch party. Melody says, really to Holly. Oh, about the League of Women. Jordan, Mike, Angie says, yay, come join us, ladies. I'm so cool, so excited you're coming.
I'm going to be there.
Angie. He is going to be there. He's still been asking on and off air and on overtime if he should teach and what he should teach. So we're still going through the application process. Can you give us an idea again, Brian, of like a class that you're like, ooh, the ladies need to learn this?
Let's see. I think the latest one I come up with is why you should fix a plate for your husband to eat when he gets home.
Okay, that's a maybe. Try one more.
Another one? Because she makes me come up with a new one every time. I can't repeat them, right?
No, that's not how you apply. You got to be creative. Come with new stuff all the time.
Why don't you notice when we do stuff?
Okay.
You're always complaining. About us not doing stuff.
That's all the title?
Why don't you notice when we do?
Oh my God. Ladies, so what do you think? Should he join Renew? Let me know. He will be there for a little bit, but we'll see if we'll let him teach. YouTube, I see you. Subscribe. Click that link and register for Renew. It's September 12th. It's one of the few things that you could actually use that planner for 2020 that was like useless. This one's happening September 12th at 1 p.m. Jordan says, good morning, Steve. I'm glad you could join us. Ooh, he invited a friend. Look, that's cool. So let's visit Steve. What's up, Steve? Yeah. We're on your Facebook page.
Janelle's super creepy. She's about to creep on you.
So you live in Salem, so I can stop by if I ever go to Salem. And you studied at Stark Technical College. So cool. And you're married to Andrea. Andrea? You're not even helping me. You're like, oh. And I like your picture of the air show. I am so disappointed that it's officially been canceled, but not surprised. We always go to the air show. That's a Neville's thing. Angie says, okay, Brian, we'll wait till you get home. Exactly. Thank you.
You think I talk like that at home? And
Angie says that will be refreshing to have Brian there.
No,
refreshing.
No, it won't. No, I'm not going to be there that long. I'll make an appearance, but she doesn't want me around.
Aw, Jordan, yes, so cool. Be like Jordan and invite your friends. So, Sue. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Thank you for coming, guys. Share this stream. Let your friends know about Brian and Jannelle.
Peace.
And Margaret says, I can only see keyboard, not subscribe. I would like to attend. So, if the link isn't working, text the word renew to this number, to 440-546-2255. 440-546-2255. Text the word renew and use that link. Okay, don't miss it. I don't want it to be sold out and my overtime people to miss it, please. So I'm going to put the info now. Look at it now. Bye, guys.
Can I go now?